Okay, so I'm not sure if what I just said went live. I think this is now the start of the live stream here. I had been talking for about a minute and I'm not sure if that made it on. So hello everyone, my name is Mark and welcome to the Arts and Farts channel. In this particular segment, I have to act natural now because I've just been talking for 3 minutes. I thought I was live to air, but it turns out I wasn't, and I thought I did a really, really good job. So I'm going to try to start over and start fresh as if none of that ever happened before. So welcome to the Arts and Farts channel. This particular show today, which is Where in the World is Your Music Studio, I'll be chatting with a really good friend of mine named Andrew Beer, who is a wonderful violinist and lives in Auckland, New Zealand, so pretty far from where I am. And I think it's worth mentioning, if you're watching this video maybe months or years from now, this interview will be taking place during the pandemic, where we're all on lockdown and are doing some crazy social distancing here. Obviously, a lot of musicians really, really hard hit by this pandemic, but the point of this show, I think, is really not to touch too much on that, but just kind of keep it positive and really kind of talk to musicians about, what they do as a musician, because I think really music is such an important part of life and something that really makes us happy. And one thing that actually inspired me to do these videos is really how amazing not only musicians, but also music enthusiasts and musical audiences, how amazing they've been during this time. They've been really supportive of musicians. Musicians have really been spreading their love of music, and I think across the board, really remaining positive. I think this really has a positive effect on humanity, and it would be great to look back at this time and once this is all over, and say to ourselves, we really stuck together and kept really a positive human or humane approach to the whole thing. I think kind of that spirit of togetherness in music is really, really important now, and I want us to be able to look back on that and say, wow, that was really, really quite something. So I'm going to bring on my wonderful guest, Andrew Beer, here very soon. I have the technical support here. She's behind the scenes. It's my wonderful wife, Avery Zhao, who, if there are any technical difficulties, you might see her running frantically in back of me, trying to save the day, save the live stream. So thank you, Avery, if you're up there. She's back there now. Okay, so we have a few topics and a few questions for Andrew, and I'm gonna let him do a lot of the talking. And in case a lot of our audiences are in Canada, North America, and have always wanted to experience a little bit of life in New Zealand, he's going to tell you a little bit about what it's like. And I'm really excited to kind of hear what his life is like there and what he's been up to, not only because he's a really good friend of mine, but he's also a wonderful musician. So here we go. I'm going to admit him. Oh my God, I'm admitting my first guest on live stream on the Arts and Farts channel. Here we go. Everyone can push the button with me. If I can just keep my mouse over. Here we go. Admit. Let's see if this works. Keep my fingers crossed on the mouse. Connecting to audio. Look at this, a violinist using a computer. What a scary thing, right? Electronics. Computers. All right. I think, yeah, looks like he's taking his microphone off mute. And there he is. Andrew.
Figured it out.
Testing. I can turn up my volume so I can hear you well.
Yeah, I hear you great. You hear me?
I hear you great. Yeah, and your video feed looks really nice and clear. That's fantastic. We have a good connection.
Awesome. I'm glad.
Great. So welcome to the Arts and Farts channel, and welcome to Where in the World is My Studio. I'd like to give you a chance just to reintroduce yourself to our viewers and our listeners.
Yeah, I'm Andrew Beer. I'm a good friend of Mark's. I'm in New Zealand right now, and I'm the concertmaster of the Auckland Philharmonic Orchestra for the APO.
And I just want to say, Marc, I'm super impressed that you're finding time to do all these creative things with such a young baby. How do you do it?
I should ask you the same question, man, because you've been doing some amazing things with a baby very similar in age to mine. I'll make it quick. I have the help of my wonderful wife, Avery, who's again, we take turns taking care of the kid and just kind of, keeping the dialogue open on, how we can keep ourselves in good spirits through this whole pandemic. But I really want to know how, you've been making some really cool online videos too, yourself playing and things like that. How have you been doing that?
Yeah, first of all, same thing. My wife, Michelle, is just amazing. She does so much of the work, and she's taking most of the night shifts right now. So I'm sleeping okay. Also, our baby is like kind of in the, I think they call it the golden phase or golden era of babies. It's 4 to 6 months where they're, they're a little bit better behaved, but they can't crawl or anything yet. So you don't have to chase them around. So we're trying to enjoy every moment of that.
Oh, that's good. So, okay, your daughter's 4 to 6 months age group. Mine is now, she's approaching 3 months.
Yeah, so the good news is it's going to get easier for you really soon.
Okay. Keep my fingers crossed, man. Yeah, that's great. I should let you know, this is actually kind of a neat thing. Not letting my computer make me think that I'm looking at you now. I'm actually, did you notice the background back of me? It's different from our test call yesterday. I'm actually facing southwest. I'm facing New Zealand physically right now.
Oh, so we're actually literally looking at each other from
exactly.
Strong binoculars though, or maybe a telescope.
Exactly. Like the internet was not enough. I wasn't going to sell for that.
Nice.
So yeah, great. Anyways, I just want to say, dude, I miss you so much, man. I miss hanging out with you. I miss playing music with you. I was gonna say, like, dude, why are you so far away? But that, if I said that, it would sound like I never leave home. So I want to say, like, I'm so far from New Zealand. So putting New Zealand at the kind of the center of the earth. So.
No, it's really not the center of the earth. We're kind of isolated here. It's unbelievable how far it is from anything, but it's so cool that we can live stream like this direct with apparently no delay. So awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. And actually, I just out of curiosity, I know I not like I've never looked up New Zealand on a map, but I just wanted to see it one more time. And it's really crazy. It's just like right in the middle of the water, close to Australia, but it's still like, you're there.
We're here, but sometimes people forget that. There's a funny story about IKEA. They announced, I don't know, some months back that they were going to finally expand to New Zealand. Mm-hmm. And then like within the week, people were posting on Twitter and stuff that they were buying maps from IKEA and they'd forgot to put New Zealand on the map.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh my God. That's like forgetting to like.
I think they fixed it though.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Oh my God. It's like forgetting to put the composer next to like music or something like that. My God. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I just like to talk a little bit about your life there because I have wonderful memories of us hanging out in Montreal with a lot of our friends here who I actually, maybe in a little bit, we can give a shout out to some of our common friends here in Montreal. But I remember before I was joking to you about the toilets flushing backwards in New Zealand. And on that topic, I wanted to say, what are a few things you've been doing differently in New Zealand, or maybe you found you changed a bit, or maybe started doing things different after living in New Zealand for a while?
Yeah, there's a lot of things different here, including the thing about the toilets. You can never tell with that though, because there's the flush is so strong, the water kind of just goes straight down. But I've read that it's true.
Okay, so if you get stuck in like a whirlpool, there's no whirlpool in the ocean. You just get mysteriously sucked down and no one even notices. That's scary.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But tons of things different here. Like obviously, like all the constellations are different. So there's no North Star. So people navigate by the Southern Cross instead if they're out on the ocean.
Okay.
The seasons are completely reversed. But not only that, the seasons start earlier, and I'm not quite sure why they do that here. So in like, for example, winter will start in June when you guys start summer, but instead of on the 21st, it'll be on the 1st. So it always feels a bit early to me, like when summer and winter come, it doesn't feel like it, but that's how they do it.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's like coming from Montreal, it's the last city you lived in. Our seasons are pretty bizarre here too. Sometimes we just this last year we skipped autumn altogether. I actually was raking up rotten leaves after the first thaw because there wasn't a chance to clear them. So, and those were our
Here
seasons.
it's more like 4 seasons in a day is the expression they use.
Hmm.
It's pretty warm all the time, but it changes really fast because we're surrounded by 3 ocean systems, basically the Pacific, the Indian, and the Southern Ocean. So you can get all these weird storms coming in. You get like big rain for 15 minutes, and then that'll happen 4 times in a day. And otherwise it's sunny. So it's a bit weird. The saying is you're an idiot if you don't bring an umbrella at all times.
Yeah. I should move down there and get into the roofing business. I'm sure they make a lot of money. You got to have a good roof there if the weather is like that. So
yeah.
Anyway.
I have to say, the very weirdest thing here, though, I don't think I'll ever get used to it, is having Christmas in the middle of summer. What people do here for Christmas is they go to the beach in their sandals and do a barbecue. They call it a Barbie in their jandals. And it just feels wrong to me. I want to put on a coat and, sip some cider or something.
Oh, wow. Well, one thing that can help you cope with that, the Beach Boys put out a pretty good Christmas album, so you should just listen to that during the holidays. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, there's some good tunes.
Yeah.
Anyways, but actually on the topic of music, now that we're in this pandemic, we're not doing a lot of traveling, or no traveling, and the future of traveling is kind of uncertain, although I hope that people can travel the world. I think it's good for people to see the world, and I think it's good for the world to see people. But now we have to kind of find ways to put ourselves in particular places in terms of inspiration, I think. And I think music is a great way to do that. I don't know, listening to French music by French composers, or Viennese waltzes, it kind of puts us there. What music should, if I want to experience New Zealand, what music or composer should I listen to in order to experience kind of like the New Zealand landscape or life in New Zealand?
Yeah, good question. There's actually, it's surprising how many really gifted composers there are in New Zealand. I don't know how it happened in a country with such a small population. So I'm not going to name any living ones because I don't want to leave anyone out. But sort of who's considered the kind of grandfather or founder of New Zealand classical composition is Douglas Lilburn. And he studied with Vaughan Williams back in the 40s or late 30s, and then came back to New Zealand and really started writing music that somehow strongly evokes kind of the pastoral scenes of the country. So give that a listen. Douglas Lilburn is trying to close your eyes and picture like, the rolling hills and the sheep and the volcanoes and all that. Yeah.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks for the musical suggestion there. So that's awesome.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some tech support here from Avery because she says apparently the split screen's not working. It's going from one screen to the other.
Oh, okay.
Gadji, is everything okay?
Oh, I think it will just be focusing one screen at a time.
Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have the split screen, so it's going from one screen to the other, a la Zoom. So that's a style that. Yeah, but it's all right. Okay, so yeah, thanks for that musical suggestion there. So everyone, how to put yourselves in New Zealand now. Oh, yeah, actually, one thing I've been wondering, keeping up our playing during the lockdown. I just picked up my car today from Honda because I hadn't used it for a while and I left my emergency brakes on.
Ooh.
And they stuck. And so I had to take it there and I had to cut the cables and free up the emergency brakes. They kind of rusted closed because I hadn't used it. And I thought that was a great analogy for now practicing on a lockdown. It's not, you can get a little out of shape and sometimes the violin can take, the pegs can get stuck, terrible things can happen. How have you found getting motivation or to keep playing during this lockdown?
Yeah, it hasn't been easy. To be honest, I'm kind of lazy if I don't have specific projects I need to prepare for. So I found that when New Zealand went into lockdown because the virus, maybe the first week or so, I honestly didn't open the case at all. But then I started to see other people trying these split screen videos, one from each
could be across the world and you're still recording together, or one at a time. So I gave that a go, and it's pretty fun. So that just gives me specific projects to practice for.
Yeah. And you also, like, you do arranging as well. I mean, I remember we did a Messiaen arrangement that you did in Montreal one time. Have you been doing any of that during the lockdown?
I've been trying. I got started, and then I kind of got sidetracked by all those other recording projects. But I've started arranging. You can see the MIDI keyboard back there, so I use that to compose, plug it in with a computer, or arrange. So I'd started doing a violin piano arrangement of Adios No Niño by Piazzolla, and I'm really excited about that when that gets done. I think I just love that music so much, and I hope it sounds okay.
Yeah,
I'm trying to really get at the original. You know, if you listen to Piazzolla playing with his quintet, getting into that kind of sound world, kind of dirty with all the slides and the jazzy rubato rhythms. So that's what I'm aiming for.
Dude, that's fantastic, man. Good for you for doing that. Yeah, and any other new interests, like during the lockdown besides arranging? And well, that's not a new interest. You've always done it, but
yeah. So you know, I played piano as a kid. But then when I went to college and stuff, I never had a piano. So I was feeling so lucky when I moved in with my wife, and she had a piano already. You can see it behind me. And I always wanted to give jazz piano a go, but I can't improvise to save my life. I'm just hopeless at it. So I'm just been finding these transcriptions online and giving them a go. It's a lot of fun. I just love those rich jazz chords and the rhythms they play and everything.
Well, that's cool. You know, one thing I remember in like studio classes and, you know, studying violin, you know, sometimes if we're playing something by Ravel, you know, and the teacher will say, oh, can you make this sound a little bit more jazzy? You know, it's not like we're playing jazz, but we're making it sound jazzy. I always wondered if jazz musicians ever hated the fact that we use that term. It'd be like, I guess, a jazz musician saying, can you make that sound a little bit more classical? I don't know. But now you're actually learning some jazz music. So that's pretty cool, man. That's really great. And you know, so like you have a kid now, you know, she's between 4 and 6 months. How old is she now?
Yeah, she almost 21 weeks. So closer to 5 months than 4 months.
Yeah. And you know, when they say they grow up fast, they really do. And I guess you notice it too when you're carrying them around and you're, you know, bathing them and changing diapers. And you know, since we're musicians and we put, you know, strength into playing our instrument, you know, probably maybe you found that raising a kid, you know, makes you feel a little different in the body, you know. Have you found that any baby products or anything like that has kind of helped you deal with the, you know, adapting? It doesn't have to be physical, you know, it can also be like, you know, helping her sleep or eat or things like that. Any baby products you would recommend to other musicians with young kids, babies?
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's tons that'll help. The two that come to mind right away is, of course, the white noise machine, because that helps her get to sleep quicker. And then it also, if I need to practice when she's sleeping, it kind of blocks out the noise, so she's just staying conked out for a bit longer.
Dude, when you're practicing that, you need a white noise machine.
She needs it, but it helps me.
That's cool. That's cool.
The other one is the Amazon Alexa or the Echo, because if we're cleaning or cooking, but we need to keep her stimulated, then we can just, I wonder if let's see if she can hear me from here. Computer, play nursery rhymes. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really, you can do it from the other room even. So that saves time and energy.
Oh, that's great.
Computer, stop. There we go.
But if she's taking a nap in your arms and you do that, then it's like she'll wake up right away. So you have to creep over and be like, Alexa. So she'll be like, why are you whispering to me? And oh yeah, well actually for me, I find, you know, and one thing I noticed with cradling a baby is that I was doing weird things with my arms, like putting it all the way over here to try to support the back. And now if she's getting kind of fussy and she wants to be held, I use this baby Bjorn, which just straps it right to your body. And you know, as And as long as you keep a straight back, you know, it actually almost improves your posture, I find. So that's been helping me a lot. But I'll try the white noise machine and try kind of those on-demand nursery rhymes or lullabies or whatever you're listening to. That sounds like a good idea. Oh yeah, and actually one thing I really wanted to kind of see, and it'd be kind of neat to kind of spy on your place a bit. I'd love to see your music studio and practice space. And I had a few questions about that because I know for a musician, it's, you know, we spend a bit of time in there, and sometimes we go in there not knowing what we're going to do, just to kind of be around our musical area. And I just wanted to know, maybe you could show us around what, you know, what you find important to have in a music studio, what not to have. And also, how is it incorporated into your home? Is it a private space? Is it a common space for family and friends? How do you view it?
Yeah, sure thing. So I guess I'll just lift up the phone here and let me see if I can. Yeah, so if I rotate the camera, then I think you can see the room now. And I mean, it's very much a shared space now. So it used to be basically for practicing and video games with the Xbox here. But now, of course, our daughter has invaded. So we've got this big play area here. It was getting really messy. So then we bought one of these things, which is okay for now. It's keeping her books and her toys there. But we're going to need more soon because obviously she needs lots of stuff to stay stimulated. And then I recently, and you were talking about old friends from Montreal. And when I wanted to get that recording stuff done, I remember that Pierre-Alain Bouvret had sold me this mic and this audio box for $100 way back. And I hadn't used it for years. So I got it out of the shelf, and I've been using that to record now. So that's been cool. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, actually, I realized when I was speaking, I would lose your picture. So I was doing the loops so that I wouldn't lose your video feed, because we don't have the split screen. So I'm going to be quiet. Maybe you can talk and show a little bit more. I'm not even going to say. So
I will. The funny thing is, so I've been recording, but I don't have a mic stand. So what I've done is I just I took apart a music stand. So it's like without the actual part that holds the music. And then I've just been using one of these baby clips to hold the microphone on there. So definitely a makeshift setup, but it's working for now. Got the Sennheiser headphones. So when I'm recording, I usually prefer when I'm doing the two-person that the other person goes first. So then I'll put those headphones on and do the recording. I find it really fun actually, because it's a real test of chamber music skills. Like not even being in the same room as the person, but having to follow their every move. So I find that really fun. Got the foot pedal. I had never used an iPad to perform until last year when I did the Ligeti concerto. And you know, the first movement is like honestly 18 pages without a rest. So I finally got the iPad, and I'm just loving it now. I've been transferring all my music on there, and now I don't know how I could live without it. So, yep. And bunch of the music. I've even been trying to sing some Sound of Music songs for my daughter. Trust me, you don't want to hear me sing. It's painful, but my daughter's really patient. She puts up with it. So that's good. And then, of course, for me, it's important to have a practice room with pretty dry acoustics. So we've got the carpet, the curtains and everything. It's a pretty big room, so it keeps me honest. That's my violin there. Violin case. Last year I finally forked out the dough and got a Musafia case. So because I had an old Negri before and it was basically falling apart. So yeah. You also notice so it's really silly. We've got 2 Christmas trees in our house because my wife had one and then I had one. And we're both too lazy to put it down when Christmas is over. So hers is in the kitchen, mine's in the studio, and we just leave it up all year.
That's awesome, man. Actually, I just noticed today my neighbors across the street, they turned on their outdoor Christmas lights. I don't know if they did it they were like, maybe like, oh, what the hell? But you know, they left them on and they put them on. I was like, fine by me. They look nice. So keep the tree. Great. Sorry, I wasn't sure. Are you, any other neat things to show in the studio, or is that is that you wrapping it up?
I think that's me wrapping it up. Yeah. Unless you've got other specific questions about it. Yeah.
No, that's pretty cool. Actually, one thing I wanted to know, and I felt this recently doing a live stream for my studio, is that when I walked into it to do a live stream performance, I got a little nervous, and it was weird having a little bit of stage anxiety in my own home in my studio. Have you had that yet?
I am having it right now. Yeah. I've actually never done one of these live streams before. You know, I've done some radio and TV interviews, but this is different because it's going out live. I'm trying not to say anything too dumb.
Yeah, no, well, that's what I was saying in the introduction. I think it's awesome. I don't know if it, I did one introduction where I don't think it made it onto I don't think I was live streaming, but if I didn't mention it, I was just saying that one thing that's really cool about you coming on here and talking is that I think as like classical musicians, or really you could just say instrumentalists, we don't spend a lot of time just like talking in front of people or going online and talking, we play and we're about our music. I think especially in rehearsal too, I mean, you probably notice this too, when you say something, you keep it very simple, very short. You don't want to like use too many words. You want to be straight to the point, very quick, so you can keep on playing. And I think that's one special thing that musicians have. So for you to come on here and just kind of speak freely and stepping out of our comfort zone, I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's nerve-wracking, but fun. And it's a great idea. I hope you do more of these.
Yeah, and actually, one interesting thing, when you got married, did you find like actually having a lot of people watch you get married? Was it a weird sensation not playing in front of a lot of people? Because that's maybe one of the first times you were in front of a lot of people not playing the violin. It was for a different occasion, right?
Yeah. I was just nervous in general that whole day. I remember there were like thunderstorms and stuff. I thought, oh my goodness, is my wife going to get soaked in the rain? And it's just so many things to be nervous about. But I know what you're saying, that too. Yeah. And it was weird to see other people performing too. I was like, oh God, I hope they get this phrase right,
Sure, yeah. Yeah. Oh, one thing I would love to see, and I think some of our viewers would love to see, is a little bit of kind of the natural landscape, or at least view from your home to the outside. Could we see maybe a little bit? I know you talked also about that you had a garden in New Zealand as well, which is really popular.
Yes, I'd love to show you the garden if that's all right.
All right, so I'm gonna keep my mouth closed so we don't miss a scene here. So
yeah, good. And I'm going to put my hat on because the sun is really strong in New Zealand. So gotta protect. So just strolling here. It's gonna be pretty bright outside. It's a sunny day, but hopefully you can still see. And I love my veggie garden, our veggie garden. It's like my place to go when I just need to wind down, away from phones and all that. So here is the garden, and I will just flip the camera again. So if you look far over on the other side of the house, you see the basketball hoop.
Nice.
And then, you can still hear me now, right? You getting the signal?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So that's the basketball hoop. And then that's the orchard to the right of it. So we've got 2 feijoa trees. I don't know if you've heard of feijoas before. I think originally they come from Brazil, but they're really popular here, just about as popular as the kiwi fruit. And when we go back in the kitchen, I'll just show you what one looks like. You need 2 feijoas to grow, a male and a female, kind of like making a baby. So to make the fruits, you need one of each. And then I got the compost there. There's a peach tree, a mandarin, satsuma, a lime, and a lemon. And then just looking closer, we've got the herb garden there. And then we get into our veggies and other fruits. So that caged area, you'll see that's supposed to be strawberries and blueberries, but it's been invaded by this crazy Chinese plant called the loofah. Avery might be familiar with the loofah. It's kind of halfway, I think, between a cucumber and a zucchini. And it's just been growing like crazy, just crawling over everything. But we're loving it because those things sell for $15 each in the grocery store, and we're just getting like dozens and dozens.
Oh, wow. I'm a big fan of zucchini, so I would eat those. So
yeah, I'll show you that up close when we get back in the kitchen also. And then closer, you can probably see some chili peppers there. These really tall ones here are kale, and they've just been crazy.
I thought kale's supposed to be an annual, but this is from last year and it hasn't died yet. So we're getting tons of food out of it. That other big green one down there is chicory. And that one we can also use the roots as a coffee substitute, which is really cool. And then we've got some asparagus here. This crazy one that's grown all the way to the deck is passion fruit, which Michelle loves. So we've really been enjoying that. And I don't know, take a guess what this one here might be. What do you think?
The leafy plant?
Yeah, this one. Yeah, with the long leaves.
I'm going to guess that you left a pineapple outside, and that's off of a pineapple.
That's a good idea, though. I like pineapple. No, this is actually sugarcane.
Oh, wow.
And we just love that we can grow sugarcane in Auckland. It's such a great climate for gardens because you can grow temperate plants. Like over there, you'll see in the cage, there's a bunch of raspberry plants. So that needs a little bit of a cooler climate, and then you got tropical sugar. So we just love it here.
Yeah. Did you ever like see? I mean, I don't know about kind of like the insect life in New Zealand, but do you have like large bugs there like they would have in Australia since you're close?
Yeah, we do. Nothing really as poisonous as Australia. The one spider you got to watch out for is the whitetail, because if they bite you, it could really like get not just a nasty bite, but it would kind of swell up. And sometimes you have to go to the hospital to get it treated. Yeah. But nothing as bad as Australia. But there's definitely like a lot of invaders, obviously the rats and the mice. And here we get a lot of like little lizards, maybe about like that big. And they're always sneaking in the house too. So we got to try and cage them up and get them back out. But it's all good. Mm. You see over there, you said you wanted to see just a little bit of New Zealand. We're kind of north of the city, like maybe a 25-minute drive north of the city here. Mm. And this green area out here is a reserve, and there's a lot of them in the city, which is nice. They kind of use it for like stormwater basins and just having more green spaces. So it's not a park. Nobody can actually go in there. It's completely fenced off on all sides. But it's a great to give us a little more space, and then you can hear the birds chirping and everything. Have you heard of the tui bird?
No.
Have you heard of the tui? No. So you might know it from Messiaen though, because Messiaen was the bird lover, and if you hear that's the tui. You hear it in all his music. He came to New Zealand. He loved that bird, so he put that in all his music.
Oh, wow. So you can know right away someone didn't leave the record player on. I think it's amazing that that you cannot actually step foot in that area there.
Yes, it's a nice idea. I love it. I'm just going back into the kitchen now, and I'll just show you a couple things we've harvested. That's a pumpkin squash. These are some of the mandarins, lemons, limes, one little passion fruit. This one might be too old to eat now, but we'll get more. And these are the chilies. This is the loofah I was talking about. It's really yummy. You got to cook it to eat it, but we love it. And this is the feijoa. So what if I cut one open? Would that be fun? Is that okay to put knives on this show?
Yeah, you can put a knife. I don't think it's going to be banned from the airwaves.
Okay, cool. I'm going to cut it. What you do is you cut it in half. And oh no, this one's gone bad because it's got the brown bits. So let's try another one. It should be white inside. Let's try that one. There we go. And then I'll just put the phone down to show you how to eat it, because once you open it, you got to eat it soon. So you scoop it kind of in a circular motion, just like a kiwi fruit. That's good. Love it.
Dude, I think you set the world record for eating a feijoa for the fastest. So
well, it's so good. Yeah. So I don't know if they sell those in Montreal, but look out for them. They're delicious.
Probably not, but dude, I think it's awesome that you have in that small amount of garden you have. I mean, you managed to plant so many different things, and you guys seem pretty self-sufficient. That's fantastic.
Well, it's been good during the lockdown because we don't have to go to the grocery store as much,
Right.
it's been a good time for that.
That's incredible. Is anything that's really hard to find now? Like in the grocery
Yeah,
stores?
of course,
Or?
all the cleaning products, the soap and the. I think there was a story about people getting into a fist fight in the grocery store over toilet paper. Come on, people, you need to be smarter than that, right?
I know. I almost witnessed a fight in a Costco over something yesterday. I didn't know what it was about, but it's amazing when you hear it about to happen, you just kind of like get out of the way, So it's crazy. I think especially it being on lockdown like this, it's kind of unnatural, for people just to stay at home. I can see how sometimes tempers can flare, even though maybe some people would never think that they would have it in them to do that. But that's I think that's really where keeping in touch with your friends and doing things that are good for yourself, like again, planting a garden or playing music, listening to music. It's really, I think it's fantastic for people. And I think just kind of seeing your lifestyle as a musician, things that you're doing, and hopefully I'll be talking with some other musicians, maybe people that are on lockdown and are getting a little frustrated with it. Maybe we'll pick up some pointers about how to kind of how they can add a little bit of enjoyment to their lives, because I think that's kind of our goal as musicians. We want to make people happy and enjoy creations that other people have made, and I think that's such good positive energy. I think it's fantastic for human beings, and especially the particular situation we're in now.
I totally agree. That's a really great point. Yep.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I think we're out of time now, but I'd like to give a shout out to some of our friends that we were hanging out in Montreal with. So you mentioned Pa before, Pierre-Alain.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Yeah.
And
Lambert Chen, of course, Lambert Chen, our great friend. Miss you, buddy.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ewald Chung, I think he's in Edmonton now.
Mm-hmm.
And in Ottawa, Walter Leung. You remember him?
Oh yeah, I remember Walter. Yeah.
Miss you all.
Yeah, and when he was here on occasion, Dominic Panchot was here sometimes. He was hanging out with us.
Oh yeah, how's he doing? I haven't heard from him at all. What's he up to?
Pretty good. I got to give him a shout. It's a long list of people to call, but I know he's been doing pretty great. And we played together not too long ago, which was pretty awesome. And who else has joined our hangouts? I know our movie nights and game nights have been pretty awesome. I know bringing Xbox and PlayStation players together in harmony. This is a beautiful thing. And who else? Phil Chu joined us a few times.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. So definitely a big shout out to all of them, all our buddies.
When's the last time you played Xbox?
Well, not since with you, because I'm PlayStation, but it's been like a really long time. And just like with anything, you get out of shape with it. It's amazing. The first time I went back on, I tried to play like The Last of Us or something, and you get these comments, like people saying like you bring a big zero to the team. And it's like so I definitely I don't go online as much just because I'm too embarrassed. But I'm
sure you still with me. You were always the best. You've got those reflexes. And
yeah. It's good to gets the fingers working. As a violinist, anytime you can exercise other muscles. Do you find actually one kind of interesting question I wanted to touch on, and I was thinking about doing a video about this, is what other activities do you think are beneficial for musicians? Because obviously we can't just sit still and not do anything. It's good to move our body. Like what activities have you found that are good for, you find that don't hinder your playing, but that are beneficial?
Yeah, for me, you asking me?
Yeah.
I mean, with a baby, it's so busy. Just try and get the basics whenever you can. So eat well, sleep well, and exercise. Go for runs if there's time, or just exercise in the house. Our daughter really gets a kick out of watching me exercise. She laughs at me, so that works.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, you can do like the push-ups too, and you use her as a weight. I just find walking around with her is exercises my legs. So
yes, been doing that too in the sit-ups and everything, because I've got a massive belly right now, so she's helping me get I don't think I'll ever get a 6-pack, but at least a smaller belly with her help.
All right, so it's the new ab isolator. That's what it is.
Yep.
Dude, it's been awesome chatting with you. And maybe before we leave, one last thing, please show us your t-shirt in case not everyone saw
So
that.
this is the great beards of classical music. And so it's got all the usual suspects, plus John Adams, because it's a San Francisco Symphony t-shirt. So they threw him in too. So I like to wear this one to work. It's fun.
So who has the biggest beard there then?
Oh, good question. Looks like it's Brahms.
Oh, okay.
But this guy, who's this guy here? Rimsky-Korsakov. No, it might be him. I think it's Rimsky-Korsakov. He wins.
Yeah, but it would be nice to get a 3-dimensional view of the beard because we want to see how much it goes out, as opposed to just falls down. So
We need a 3D printer for that.
yeah, exactly. Dude, listen, I miss you lots, man. It's been great chatting with you, and I hope all our viewers have enjoyed this chat, maybe picked up on a few things. Any parting words, Andrew?
Just thanks so much. It's great to see you too. I miss you. Maybe we should try one of those split screen videos, and take care. And I'm looking forward to seeing all your other videos too.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, we'll keep in touch. And thanks for joining me on Arts and Farts on Where in the World is Your Studio? This has been Marc Djokic here hosting the show, and Andrew Beer, violinist and concertmaster in Auckland, New Zealand. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.
You too.
See you later.